This is Steve and Cedric talking to the band, and I'm Steve. What's happening, Cedric?
Hey, I'm Cedric. How y'all doing out there?
Cedric, today, man, we are rocking with one of the hottest producers in the game.
Yes,
we
sir.
are rocking with FLAVe.
Hey,
Yes,
yeah.
Thank y'all, fellas. Cedric and Steve and Cedric talking to the band.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
FLAVE,
how y'all doing?
What's happening, man? Good, man. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm great. I can't complain, man. Man, life is so good right now, man. These past few months, man, been crazy, man. Crazy. This year has been a good year, but it's just, man, I just turned 50 this year, you know.
Wow, hey, man, happy birthday, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I turned 50 on the twin side. That was June 14th. Man, so much been happening, man. I'm just blessed to be here, man, doing this. Blessed to be here and still doing this, what I'm doing. You know what I mean? After all these different, like, bounces up and down these valleys and peaks and stuff, man. We definitely in peak season, that's for sure.
Wow.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And man, what's new? Yeah. I mean, what's new? What you got? What are you working on? What's happening? What's new with you? Like, what's the project that we got to look forward to?
What's new is we got the End of the Road movie. I have a song in that movie called All of Us, like featuring Dre Stoney. And that song was in the movie in a car scene where the family was driving together in a car or whatever in the early part of the movie. But that's my song as an artist. So that song came out. I released it like 2 days before the movie came out. The movie came out the 9th. I released it on October 7th. The movie came out on the 9th of October. So that was a really good situation. My first time like ever like on my masters in a movie like that, you know. It wasn't box office, but it was Netflix. It was major. The movie went number one, you know. So that was really good. That was a really good thing, man. That was a really good feat. And then we got Beth Griffin, her second project, her second album, man, is going crazy right now. Like my sister for like almost like 18, 19 years. Man, we finally got together and we've been talking all these years, man. We finally got together and it was the right time. Because she stayed true to who the person she was, now stayed true to the person I am, and we just the minds met up. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, everybody do their work and do their purpose. The minds met up. So Marcus Divine, the same thing with him. I started my career with him, working out with him, producing records for other artists and stuff like that. So yeah. Got that. It's a project called The Other Side from Grand Crew Records. Some good friends of mine out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. On that project is Georgia Ann Marshall, Stolen Drums, Tall Black Guy, myself, Gennaro, Warren Keys. It's all these, like Roy Ayers is on there. So it's like an instrumental. It's an instrumental project. Y'all got to check it out. It's called The Other Side. Various artists, Grand Crew Records. So I'm really proud of that project. I'm releasing some records as a solo artist. I got my artist Hope Rainey that I'm working with, which she's more on the pop R&B side of things. We've been doing some sync licensing work for some a few movies and stuff like that upcoming. So yeah, it's a lot going on, man. For it not to be a lot going on, and this year it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, okay. But I kept working. I never stopped. That's the only difference between me. I just never stopped. You know, I didn't go to the bank and go get an executive job. I just kept working because it's what I love, really, really put here to do. You know, so yeah. Long-winded answer, but that's it.
FLAVe, allow me to give you your flowers, bro. You, first of all, we want to thank Beth and Ron Ledford, you know, because that's how we really made this connection. You know what I mean? And she's just been fantastic. Yes. Beth is fantastic. Been on the show a couple times. She is. But you've worked with, I mean, just legendary artists. Queen Latifah.
This goes on and on. Yeah.
Janet Jackson. Let's keep going with this, man. Aretha Franklin. And one of my favorites. Too Short, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, too short in the game.
From Can't Fight the Feeling, like from day one almost. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean Tank. I mean the list goes on and on. So many great artists. FLAVe, man, you have had a life, bro. Talk to us a little bit about that time in your life and just getting on, man, and share some of that experience with us that you've had the blessing to go through and experience.
Where do I start at? I'll start with like I'll cut some fat away. We'll start like at like BUSTA RHYMES or whatever, right? So
yeah,
I know that's a rap artist and everything, but like I'm kind of like in the room, like collaborating. I'm with 2000 Watts doing these records, right? So like BUSTA RHYMES, Sylvia Rome make the connection with the guy I was working with, Delight, which I was a co-producer with him on several projects or whatever. So he was made to come in and work with BUSTA RHYMES or whatever. So they did the What's This Gonna Be. So I did some percussion work on that song, and I helped mix the record, right? And that's how I got to work with Janet in that way, right?
Wow.
But we did another song because they did the duet together, right? And like I think the song came out like one of the like his biggest selling songs of all time. It was like at that time the most paid on a video, whatever. It was like $2 million Hype Williams video, and so that was huge. And then I did a song that I kind of started off. I kind of spearheaded with my brother Delight. It's called "Is They Wildin' With Us Again Wild." Or Is They Wildin' With Us, featuring Mystical and BUSTA RHYMES. And so we did that kind of on the spot. And it was kind of one of them things. We made a beat in 5 minutes, like because we would do it like a band, like we was a band. I'd be on the MPC, he'd be on the keyboard. But we'd just come up with these beats and stuff like we was a band.
Wow.
Like we was Ohio players in the studio. Like,
that's what's up.
Instead of a lot of programming, we was doing stuff on the fly.
Right.
That's what's up. That's old school.
So that's how Silk album got made tonight. Like really, that's like all these records that people sampling and everything. We made these records like as a band, like one person on the piano, I'm on the drum machine, or I'm on the piano, they on the drum machine. So it was a whole camp at 2000 Watts. Kenny Whitehead was there. Antoinette Robertson, Lincoln Broader, they wrote My Body, LSG. I wasn't, this when I first came along. So they wrote that first. And I came in the picture like, dang, that song dope. This was before LSG got on there. LSG got on it, was a rap, #1 song. Yeah. So I came in, the floor was laid for me, to already kind of come in and help, and start our ideas and help finish ideas,
Yeah.
So that's what If You Loving Me came from with Silk, which ended up being sampled by, not sampled, but interpolated by Tank, which ended up being a song called Effing With Me. I don't want to like you like
cool,
ratchet
man.
on your podcast.
You good, bro. You good.
So that's where that song came about. And we got like a lot of situations where people sample our songs and Plies, different people where they taking our songs and interpolate them and like, okay, that's our song too. Cause we ended up, they ended up getting, asking us for approval and clearance or whatever, so that's how the Tank thing came about. Really successful song, but it started out with the If You vibe, you know what I mean? So that's where that came from. And then Aretha Franklin came from a situation where we was just doing these different songs, and it was a beat that I ended up making for like 5 minutes, and the song ended up being a new song called Angel with her and JoJo and KC. So the song ended up making a Benefit AIDS album, but it was kind of one of them songs where I was like, dang, I got on a Aretha Franklin album for a track I made in 5 minutes. So that's how it was. That's how it was. You know what I'm saying? She took it and took it to a whole nother level, and then JoJo and Casey on it. So it's one of them songs. It's kind of like it never came out, but I still like Aretha Franklin. That's the only artist that I use that it never officially came out. Like I gotta use that. You know what I'm saying? To a degree, you know what I'm saying? But everybody else, like far as like Too Short, wasn't in the studio with Too Short. I was in the studio with Puffy because I was working with him a lot. And he bridged that gap with me and Too Short to work together. Because he was trying to get us to come in and work with him on different projects with different R&B artists that he had at the time. Because we was doing stuff for, like, we was hot at the time right then. So that was one of the situations. I did like several records with Puffy, and then that was one of the records that ended up getting placed with him and Too Short, called It's About That Money. And it ended up being on Too Short album. And and then after that, I mean, we got Tamar Braxton. We was with Tamar Braxton every day, working, doing different records with her when she was at DreamWorks. And then you got when I left and went out on my own, I started working with Mary J. Blige, and I developed a relationship with Queen Latifah. So she was managing me, you know, at the time. So,
oh, wow.
So FLAVe, talk to us a little bit about that relationship between you and Queen Latifah.
Okay. I would say it's like a brother and like a slightly big sister relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because like I got the utmost respect for her because she's a machine for one, and like I've watched like people like her and Puffy work, you know, and I've been like, they never turn off. And it's always like having that ceiling. That's the ceiling right there. Even Mary, you know, she was doing 3 songs a day. Finished.
Wow.
Done. You know, to get to the point where there's 75 songs to pick 17 songs from. You know what I'm saying? So like me watching these different processes, I try to bring them in different situations. You know, that's why it's cool working with somebody like Beth, because it's like, oh, you got some of that right there. That's why it's working for you. You know what I mean? But like going back to the Latifah thing, a friend of mine introduced me to her. She came up to the studio, and she vetted us out for a while. Had us coming over to the house, the studio, just trying to fill us out. Then once we locked. It was like a kind of like it's like a family thing, even to this day, even with me, her, and Shaquem. So it's just like we can hang out, party, which we used to do back in the day. But I think it's more, everybody's more focused on like where their kids gonna have, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's all about like, by her being a iconic mogul figure in his business, right? And I'm so glad to have that relationship, just because like I get to see how it really supposed to go. Because, you know, people talk, they be like, yeah, this and this. No, I see how it really goes. This person kept their head down and worked, and they didn't go out and try to seek attention from the media or try to, you know what I'm saying, unwanted attention. They just work with their head down. You don't know where she stand for politically. You don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Assumptions.
Right.
They have their assumptions, but you don't know, because she put her head down and worked. You know what I'm saying? And I like the pattern of my career after that. But it's kind of one of them things where we did a lot of records together for her as an artist. And then she'd come to me and she'd be like, hey, FLAVe, who you want to work with? Is anybody you want to work with? And I'm like, anybody I want to work with? I can't think of nobody. And it's just these situations started coming up. Mary J. Blige started coming up. I had already had songs written for her. Ideas laid out that I was like, damn, how am I gonna get this to this person? Oh, this person don't mess with me like this, so I can't go to that window. And then it was right in front of my face the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Then I ended up meeting Mary, and then it was just like I met her, I played her one of the songs that I was telling you about that I had for her, and she was like, she was floored. So to floor another superhuman, well, I ain't saying I was superhuman at the time, but I feel like to make an impression on somebody who's seen it all is a really, really big deal. And I'm an unknown person. Like a lot of people don't know who I am, even to this day, which is cool. I kind of like that, you know. But in some ways, it got its disadvantages. But I really got to go, like, I think me and Mary did like 8 songs after that first song, because he was like, I'm gonna be back in 2 weeks. I gotta go on tour, I gotta do this stuff or whatever, but I'll be right back. You be ready for me. And I was ready. We did 8 songs. 3 made the album.
Wow.
You know, out of Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Pharrell, Swiss Beats, Raphael Sadiq.
Good grief. Wow.
And three made the album out of 17, out of 75. Like, you know, so it's like one of her monumental albums as far as her going to the next level in the pop world. You know what I mean? So I'm really proud of that. But that was because of FLAVE, and that was because of Latifah and her like, hey, I'll get out the way, go ahead. And, you know what I'm saying? I want to put y'all together. I want to see you be successful, you know, and that's what it really is all about with her. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you be successful, you know?
Let me ask you a question. What was you had a long career. What would you say your defining moment is in your business right now?
Overall, the defining moment, I would say, I hate to say this, but I mean, I don't hate to say this, but it's like right now, because and if anything, it's right now, but I feel like it's getting there, you know?
That's what's up. Yeah.
Not there, it's almost there, because like now I'm more in the ownership role of everything that I touch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's much different. The names are cool, right? Don't get me wrong, right? But when you owning the catalog and you're working on making the catalog valuable, man, you know, but you know what I'm saying, in your own way.
Yes, sir.
That's the defining moment for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't have many heroes these days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm past that moment. I'm 50 now. I shouldn't be
looking
up to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
My second question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Second question. The process of recording, how has it changed from when you started till now?
Oh, man, let me. I try to. I you know what's good about me? Me and my best friend was talking about this not too long ago, right? So I got all these different workflows, right? That's why I be trying to tell a few younger people that I work with, have as many different workflows as you can, because you'll be able to pull this out, and you know, in different situations, you'll never be stuck, right? So we were analog kids. I remember when I was 18 years old, I was going to the studio and I was seeing people cut with these razors, tape with these razors and stuff. Yeah. Even a quarter-inch tape, the half-inch tape, they was cutting it and marking it with the marker and then cutting it. And I was like, wow, that's really brilliant. Now I'm on Pro Tools, like cutting like in seconds, in milliseconds, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
And editing in milliseconds, literally, right? And just by doing math in my head, but it was more analog, even though we're not doing that anymore. But it's certain things that I'll use in analog instances in our scape of like recording, but it's inside the box though. All of it's done inside the box, and some of it is done like I might take some pennies and shake them in my hand and record that, like for a percussive type of thing, or you know, do some real natural stuff like beat on my legs or something like that on my, you know, and try to build that and make something out of that. But a lot of it is like grabbing a piano and playing live all the way down from beginning to end.
That's what's up.
Right?
That's what's up.
You know what I'm talking about, like it's still on the record, but it's like, it's not real jazz, it's not real, but you're still making it in the confines of a record. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these different ways that we did, it's still, I still try to implement those, but I know it's more simplified and people don't really want to, even the older demographic don't want to hear a lot of complex. You know what I'm saying?
Sure don't. Yeah.
If that makes if that makes sense,
a lot of
you know
sense.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow.
So it's stuff like that. Like I'll just take a pride. Like I'll take like a stupid instrument like a clave or something like that, a cowbell, and I'll just play it all the way down from the beginning on the timeline. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of do, because I like that feel. I'm a feel first person. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you don't feel it, if it don't make you cry, it don't make you laugh, it don't make you shake your hips, it don't make you get up and dance a two-step, you don't really got nothing. What you got? It don't make nobody bob their head, it don't make nobody tap their foot. What do you have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what's up.
Yeah, right.
So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm more clear mentally now than I've ever been. You know what I mean? I've heard like people who grew and evolved, other artists and other producers, like even when I was younger, said, I'm like, what that mean? That don't mean you're good no more, because like I'm young. That don't necessarily mean that, because I had a clear mindset. Now I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? A much clearer mindset. I can do anything. So, like I say, I'm more business oriented than I am ever. I used to just be all creative. Now it's more business oriented. You know now, and I learned that from being around a lot of Tifas and the Marys and stuff like that, the Delights and people like that. You know what I mean? And being business, talk your business, because when you create it, you own it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right,
and then
right.
that extension, and when you take it to another person, you're like, yeah, please, let's put this. No. You can make your own system, you know, with the relationships that you have, you know.
Hey, FLAVe, why you on that right now? Why are you talking about that? Let me throw something at you. Assets, liabilities. What does that mean in the business to you? What does that mean in this business to you?
Assets and liabilities. Assets are people who are of purpose, in your walk, and you are of purpose with them, and you guys can get together and meet up and make wonderful things happen. Business wise too, you know. Assets are also, to me, like the skills that I've like built up and the attributes that I've built up over the years, you know, because you don't get those for free. You got to build those up through the dark.
Right. Yeah, that's all right.
So those are assets.
Yeah.
You can't pay for those. You can't buy them. Liabilities are people who like are who, let's say they got their own way, like how they may have a company they're trying to build, but it don't suffice with your purpose, you know. So those are people that those are liabilities. Liabilities to me is doing some of the old things that take your attention off of putting into your craft or putting into the business. You know what I mean? People, you know, dates, going on dates, is liability with no purpose. You know what I'm saying? Chasing, you know, partying. To me, that's more of a liability. I lead a more boring lifestyle than ever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm more into the work now, and more into like, what are you leaving behind? You ain't got much longer. What are you doing? You know, so that's the liability part to me. You know, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Y'all know.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
What we leaving behind.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
because I was just saying, because when 100 years go past, right, like it's a reset almost. So who gonna stand out from that 100 years? You know what I'm saying?
What's your take on the music industry right now, as far as you know, independent artists versus the big record companies?
My take on everything right now is really, really super crowded. So you have to do things to stand out that doesn't necessarily have to do with your song or your music or your collection of songs. That has a lot to do with how you're marketing and how you're setting yourself up, your strategies and all that kind of stuff. And it's not so much about standing out. This is just now, to me, what I see is they just grabbing your own people. The record companies before, from what I've seen, they just try to get you to everybody. Well, they got a starting demographic, but the whole goal would be, without spending more money, was try to get you to more people as possible. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes time to tour or do shows, that they can take advantage of this market or that market, you know? And before they would pick the songs that you would have to do, you know, now you can pick the songs that you do. You know what I mean? I thought, I kind of like, and I'm in the middle, and I hate to be in the middle with things, but it was better music when they would choose records back then. But I think the kids are more, I think the kids are more talented. It's just that, like, a lot of stuff has made us lazy. And that's what suffered a little bit. So now you got literally millions of artists. If you promoting a playlist of you out here, you putting your music out here, it's some playlist that lasts for 10 hours. There's playlist that's 2 hours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And you don't know who none of these artists are. You're looking at these different playlists and you're like, oh man, dang, that's crazy. Like, everybody can sound good with the magic of a laptop or a desktop computer, you know, and some plugins, and you can go get a beat for $25, you know, and just put it out and lease it. And it ain't about being good no more. It's like really an excellent, you know. But I mean, it is about that. But the marketing got to come with it. The machine got to come with it. It's got to be much more than just the music. You know, look at your girl Beth. Look at Beth, man.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely. Cedric and I was talking. Cedric, you had mentioned something about a group that you wanted to know the style of music.
Yeah, you back when you first. Well, no, your group now. Well, I don't know if it's now, but it was electro. I don't know the style of music it was.
Yeah.
Can you explain that style of music?
Yeah, you talking about Detroit techno.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah.
Detroit techno. Okay, this is my backdrop of Detroit techno. It's to me, the artists, the people who invented it were Warren Atkins, Kevin Saunderson. Warren Atkins was of Cybertron, this group that made Cosmic Cars and Clear. And you would hear the sample of Clear in that Missy Elliott and Sierra song, Lose Control, right?
Okay.
So that's that's the original. So that's 1982, 1981. It was way ahead of its time. I think it was even before Planet Rock. It was before even Planet Rock was out. So so Detroit techno started from there. It was like kind of like a little microcosm of Kraftwerk, what Kraftwerk was doing, but it was his own thing. And then you had Kevin Saunderson, who was the leader of Inner City, this group Inner City, and Eddie Fowlkes, Derek May, and Anthony Shakir. There's a few other people. Anthony Shakir just happened to be my mentor growing up, like 18 years old, you know? And so I started learning drum programming from him because he's guy doing drum and bass, doing all this crazy stuff I never heard of in my life. It sounded like a bunch of rock and roll to me. Like, it was equivalent of rock and roll, but I didn't know that all these millions of white kids was gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? Like they did years later.
Yeah.
Because they used to we were roommates. Me, Shake, and we just all used to be music guys. There's four of us. We all stayed together. And I see these kids, they'd come from Europe and they'd be like in a living room just sitting up watching. I'm like, what's up with that? They came to the hood just to watch this guy, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's the biggest music ever now. You see in hundreds of thousands of people. And but yeah, I was saying earlier, that's how I started. I started with that first, as being the keyboard ghostwriter pretty much for the different people. You know, I ain't gonna put them out there and say it, but I was just young and they was like, yeah, come on in here. We'll give you $100, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I was great with that because I was like, I get to be in the studio, like what? But I came from my bedroom with a 4-track and these reel-to-reels and the little Yamaha Casio keyboard.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and I was involved in that. And this records now, I got like a whole discography just with techno and house records alone that I played on. And then I ended up meeting Mark Kinchen from working with those guys. Mark Kinchen, MK, is like a big, huge house producer. He's having his second run right now as well too, because he ended up working with Pitbull. Pitbull sampled one of his records from the 90s, man, and he like all over the place, Ibiza and all this stuff. But I worked with him. And so my first major record was playing Bobby Brown's Getaway remix on the house version, the house music version.
Wow.
Playing piano, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got like a whole like discography of just house music stuff. But it's just me on the keyboards and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's before I started doing rap, and I had my own rap group, and then I switched over and then started doing R&B, and you know, I was like, this is what the girls really like now.
Yes, sir. FLAVe.
They want to hear that Conan singing.
I know that's right.
Oh man, yes, sir. FLAVE, man, you Grammy nominated. I mean, man, you have quite a career. Talk to just young producers that want to get in this game today, man. What keys do you have for them that will help them be successful?
Putting your head down, do the work, get lost in your craft, study, look at YouTube, look at everything. Ask yourself questions, listen to record. How did they get this to sound like this? How did they do that? How did this sound like this? How did they get that voice to sound like that? How did they put that effect on that voice? How did they get them drums to sound like that? These should be questions you're asking yourself. You know, how did they make, where do a hit record come from? Do they know they have a hit record when they make it? No, that's the answer right there. I'm telling you ahead of time. But it feels good. It feels really, really good. Do you know it's gonna be here? No, no one can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? But so how do people have back-to-back hit records? You know what I'm saying? It's the questions you should be asking yourself. Yeah. How do people work with, how do you go find quality artists? You know what I'm saying? So it's just really about putting your head down, and that right there will build the attributes, and that'll build your skill set up, you know? Really getting lost in it, having boundaries, not letting people get in the way of your evolution of it, you know? Now, that's in a perfect world, but like, that's what I tell everyone. I like, if you really love it, it'll love you back. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
but you have to get lost. You have to get lost into it. Ask a lot of questions. Yeah. Because when you get better, you get around better people that you can feed off of and get more information from and evolve even more. So the better you're getting, you're putting surroundings where you get even better.
That's good.
You know, so you got to really work. You know what I'm saying, and surround yourself around people. And start off by yourself or whatever. But it's really the love for it. It's really like when you're having a bad day, that's something that needs to be your runaway too. That's where it needs to. That's your escape. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know. Yeah. But I always say, put your head down and work and grind. You know.
That's beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
That is. That's
and relationships very important. Making relationships.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a major key. FLAVE, starting out to just real quick, is next to the last question. What program should a producer be using? Like, if you got a laptop and you trying to do some tracks, what would you recommend as a program that they need to have to put out quality?
That's kind of a question. Like for me, like in my computer right now, I have Pro Tools. I have Reason 12. I got Fruity Loops, the 20. Even though they say that's not the real version because it's the Mac version. the real version is the PC version, and I agree. But I still use that to filter a lot of my drum tracks that I bounced down from the MPC to make it more bulkier. It's a trick that I use. Y'all can use that trick. Give y'all that free one there. And process and then put and then put them in the Pro Tools. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got to give some stuff away. You can't hold everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure.
So,
right.
So I'll bump up. I'll do some processing in Fruity Loops. Use growth speed if I want to do some flip stuff and do some drags and drops to make it more interesting, and then bounce everything and then put it back in Pro Tools. And then I got Logic. I use Logic a lot because there's instruments in Logic that I don't have available to me in the MPC or in Pro Tools or in the Reason. So I'll make a 2-track or whatever track I'm doing and bounce it over there, then do some instruments out of Logic or something like that. Because I got more, oh, what about that one sound and so that one symphony? Let me go over here. What about that loop that's in, that percussion loop? So I kind of use all of them as one thing. Just like on my phone, like when I'm doing a video, I'll use like 4 or 5 different apps to make a video pop. You know what I'm saying? I don't like using one thing because I like to have this broad thing. I'm real competitive, so I was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Let's take it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just comfortable with using everything. I'm not like 100%. Like I'm 100% fluent in this and this and that. But I use all of them. MPC is my thing from day one. I've been using that from day one. I'm just comfortable with it. I'm just comfortable with the engine. That's what I like to use. But I know there's a lot of kids that like to use the Fruity Loops, and from what I've seen, it sounds really good. It sounds much better than the MPC. That's just my opinion on the drums and everything too. So I'm more in awe watching what the young kids use. I'm kind of like, dang, y'all stepped it up a notch on this. You know what I mean? Now the keyboard stuff, like, because it ain't much theory, they using loops and stuff like that. But that's fine. The drums are banging through. They coming through. But I just say, also too, try to separate yourself from everybody else. Try to be unique, because I think that's one of the things that everybody's going to run to a template of a sound. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you got clowned if you weren't original. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For my coming up,
Sure.
You get pretty much hazed like for not being original. You know?
Absolutely.
So having a sound is very important there. Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, you have to. That was the thing back in the day. Like you get teased, like you get cooked. Like even where I come from, my humble beginnings coming from Detroit. Like you if you weren't original, you were. Then I went to New York. It was the same thing. You know, it was even on a whole nother level. You know, yeah.
That's crazy.
Because you get caught copying somebody else. That sound like so and so. Oh man, like you know what I'm saying? They give you the business.
That's so how it used to be too, boy.
Yeah. But that's how we did. It was that level. Like, hey, you could find your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The reason I'm FLAVe, real quick, the reason I'm FLAVe, I was called that, and I ended up adapting that name from some friends I grew up with, because I'm jazz, I'm house music, classical. I was classically trained in high school and middle school, but I was playing brass first, brass instruments. Baritone, trombone first. So I was classically trained in that, playing overtures and stuff like that. So I got all these different things that's like in me. Hip hop, R&B, 70s soul, even to this day. I can do a record that sound like a sample of an old record, and you would think it's like a sample, but it's like me, all me.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what, like, it's just these different gifts, these different skills that I developed where I'm like, okay, all right. So when somebody call, like a lot of people call, be like, I need the 70s summertime kind of thing, where it's like remind you of family, this and that. All right, I got you. You know, I go in the archive or I go make something new. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's a kit that's in the MPC. It's a kit that's in Fruity Loops that make it sound like, oh, dang, this wasn't done in Fruity Loops. This wasn't done in the MPC. This was done on a record, you know? But if you really know, you can kind of tell it's not a real drum. You can tell it's a loop. You can tell it's like kind of mechanic. But I kind of like having that feel where it's a real bass guitar and it's a real horn section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and all that stuff. And then I'll have somebody come in and replay instruments and stuff like that, do stuff like that.
So you really believe in live music? You still believe in live
music? Man, everything I do, man, everything I do. We got to build one day. I'm gonna let y'all because y'all really about like real music and listening to real music. But then there's another side of me that like quirky little electro sounds too, you know. So I got that side too, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got the other side where it sounds like you know. That's Uncle Aaron, like right there, like that's, you know what I'm saying, like I got that side too. So you know, I enjoy that because that makes me unique from most people. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I feel like it's a feeling that'll never go away. Even 20 years from now, I feel like it'll never go away. 70 soul will never go away.
Thank you. Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes, sir. FLAVe!
Yes, sir.
It's been an honor, man.
It's been a real honor
to have you on, man.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, thank y'all again for having me, man, for real, man, straight up. And man, I'm gonna keep in touch with y'all for real, man. Cause I'm gonna have to use y'all for like for a judgment call on some of these things, man. Hey, how does sound real quick? Cause I like bouncing stuff off people sometimes. You know, so since I know y'all like 70 soul and all that kind of stuff,
yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to run some of this stuff to y'all.
That's cool.
I'm the oldest person around me, so I got younger people around me. They like, they be like, yeah, it's cool. I get it, because y'all was like intellectual. And y'all ain't have no apps or nothing and all that back then, but. So I need more of y'all.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, man, FLAVe, we appreciate you. FLAVe, let everybody know how they can follow you, where they can find you. You gotta give us all your platforms, bro.
On Instagram, I'm at FLAVE Sound, FLAVE Sound, SOUND, FLAVE Sound with the E. On Facebook, I'm Kenny FLAVE. And FLAVE, FLAVE. So that's how you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Kenny FLAVE, all that good stuff, whatever.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all do that. Also, check him out on Beth's new project.
Let me be. Yeah.
Let me be. On that.
I produced the record, Let Me Be with Marcus Divine. Hope Rainey wrote on it, my artist. Man, she a beast, man. I ain't even talk about her that much, man. But man, she's one of them ones. Man, I've been around for a while. I ain't never seen a closer that closed projects and closed records like this. She closed that record. She closed the Let Me Be record. We was looking for verses. I went to all these people, and she was right up under me the whole time. I was like, wait a minute, she closed it. You know what I'm saying? I sent it over to Beth. Sent it over to Beth and Marcus. They was like, "Yeah, we love it." I was like, "All right, cool, let's go." I'm like, "All right, bet." You know?
Wow.
So I went to like 4 or 5 different writers looking for trying to finish that song because I knew where Beth was. I know what Beth was trying to go, what she's trying to do. So we diligently made sure that song needed. I think they did it for all the songs, but I didn't want to be the one who missed that step. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. You know. And Hope is she's a dope artist. We got a record out right now called I Don't Belong, and we got another record out that we're about to release on 11/11, man. And she wrote on the End of the Road song on that song, All of Us. And she's done like man, a whole bunch of sync license and stuff for like in the industry for the last 5 years. It's crazy, man. But yeah. There's a lot of stuff we got working on, man, but I'll keep you posted on it, though. Yeah. Appreciate
that. Appreciate also you got something with Zoe and Tall Guy. That's going to be coming out soon, too, right?
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Fan of both of those guys. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. And hey, if you guys have missed any of our previous episodes, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button and like those videos. Hit that little bell alert so so you get a notification when we upload new content. Cedric, where else can they find us at, bro?
Out on Steven Cedric Talking to the Band on Instagram and Twitter. That's Steven Cedric Talking to the #2 Band on Instagram and Twitter, y'all.
FLAVe, man, it's been an honor, man.
Man, it's been an honor, bro.
Likewise.
Yes, sir.
Man. Hey, that merch. I see that hat, baby. I see that FLAVe hat.
I got you. Y'all.
All right.
I got you.
Cool.
As soon as I get these new orders in.
Cool.
Say it and Steve gonna have them one, okay?
Cool.
Each one.
All right, that sounds good. That's all I got, baby.
That's all I got. Peace out.
Peace out.
Take it easy. Y'all take it easy. All right, man. I'm late.
All right, peace. Later.